What's going on? Miss Heidi, how are you? We having a good day? Having a bad day? Or we just having a day? Johnny, what's going on, brother? I'm hanging in there, man. Things are good. I am putting on a festive shirt. I poured myself a Dr. Pepper. I'm going to sneak into the kitchen and throw some ice in it because it's a little hot. But today is a good day. Mm-hmm. Got that good at convenience store ice. Hey, Electric Wheeler, what you doing, buddy? I'm back. I'm festive. I'm good with a nice Dr. Pepper. And I'm glad to see all of y'all. Hope you're going to show me how to sharpen my homemade knife. Let's do it. Shit. All right, let's go. Back to the old school. But before I do that, I have to tell y'all something. My AdSense kicked in. So you guys might see ads. Hell, I don't know how all that works. But if you do, give me a break. I don't know how the hell any of that works yet. But I promise you this much, I ain't mad about getting paid. Let's go. Kevin, good to see you. Timber, Noel Guerra. English or Spanish? Hello. Bienvenidos. ¿Qué está haciendo? Whichever way you prefer, man, I got you. I've been trying to recover those little wooden pliers. I couldn't find a knife small enough to do it, so I made my own. It's about as dull as it could be. Sí, hablo un poquito de español. Not all the time. Most of my people are in English. But you see, what's up, everybody? I got you on the TV building a bookcase for my daughter. Let's go, Pine. The best projects. So I'm going to set my vat of water over here as we turn our attention to the bench. And we'll do a few things here. Welcome back to the bench. Welcome back to my belly. So first thing we got to do is dress my stones. Because I have been a no stone dressing some bitch. And that is not okay. Let me get these suckers dressed out. As you can see, we roughed us a little bit of a rough spot there. It's all right, we're going to take care of it. Take some of this Dookie Rider. Clean that bad boy up some. our sanding stones from our good friends at Hola, Noel. Keep dressing these suckers down some. My Facebook is trying to blow up. I ain't even paying attention to it because I'm paying attention to you fine, lovely people. Now, get my dressing stone, leave it in the water. Put it over there. We'll talk about the knives I've already made. We'll talk about the carving that I got in front of me that I really don't know exactly what the hell I'm going to do with yet. Then we'll talk about making another one. So if you guys remember, I made this guy, which is a pretty decent knife. It is decent enough that it'll peel walnut like it's peeling potatoes. It's got no problem with that. And then somebody else was like, I want a marking knife. Hey, Makers Murphy, good to see you, buddy. Welcome back to the Empire of Dirt. Then somebody said that they wanted a marking knife. So I'm like, cool. And if you guys remember, I ended up taking a piece of this shelving bracket right here. And I cut that sucker off right here. And I gave myself this little flange off the side of this shelving bracket. Shaped it up. And we ended up with this. I don't think it came out too shabby myself. Nice little marking knife. Got it put together with a little walnut handle, a little boiled linseed oil. What do you think? Not too shabby, huh? You guys can do that. You guys can make that, no problem. Y'all do me a favor as we're going through this, because I literally, right before I jumped on live, I got the email talking about how I get to be able to monetize and put ads in the lives and put ads in the videos. I turned it on because, number one, I ain't allergic to money. I mean, hell, if I am, I'll take hydrocortisone. I don't care. But I don't know how any of it's going to work. So you guys are going to have to tell me if you guys get inundated, if it's doing stupid and it's showing you like 12 ads a minute or some kind of ignorant crap like that. You guys are going to have to let me know, okay? Thanks, Kevin. Now, what we could do is we could take the other half of that bracket, cut that off, and make another knife. Or, hell, I got half a saw blade here. We could do that. And make us a big crocodile Dundee. Now, that's a knife. I mean, that might be the plan. What do you guys vote for? And I also got this big chunk of honking walnut here. I could probably make a handle out of it. So that might not be too shabby. I mean, it'd be another knife with a walnut handle. I've already made 2 of those. But you guys want to make one? Uh-huh. Makers Murphy, you see what I'm talking about? Literally, shit everywhere. It's all right. One of these days, I'm going to organize it and figure it out. As soon as I figure out how to build an enclosure big enough to hold 3D printers and not take up a bunch of space. I digress. We need to sharpen your little knife, electric whittler. So let's get after it. First things first, I want to ask you, Whittler, do you have a belt sander? Just curious. Is that a I do? Oh, you got a little knife to sharpen, not that I got a belt sander. Who is blowing up my Facebook? I do not have a belt sander. Do you have a disc sander? What kind of? Let's do it that way. What kind of sanders do you have? That'll work. Sorry about that. Social media blowing up for some reason. Driving me crazy. But it is larger than the blade I'm trying to sharpen. Okay, perfect. Then if that's the case, have you already done most of the shaping that you need to do to the blade? Because that I will accomplish with a sander, a power sander, a hell of a lot faster than I'm going to be able to do it at hand. Okay. Bad Dragon, good to see you, buddy. I have, and it does have a defined edge at this point. It's just not sharp. Perfect. Let's go to the stones. Now, we'll pretend, here, I got enough sharpening rocks around here that we'll find one that is a close facsimile of yours. Yeah, we'll work through the grits or whatever. Okay, you got a lot of different sanding grits. That's good. So if that's the case, then let me check. I believe I can fly. Yeah. Okay, shut up. That wasn't even funny. Okay. Checking through my sandpaper. Because I used to have some adhesive sanding discs and I don't know where the hell I put them. And I'm singing for no reason whatsoever. But hell, why not? All right. Okay. Hold on. Wait a minute. I already had some set up. Where the hell did I put it? What we're going to do is we're going to find a piece of plate glass. And then we're going to attach, using some adhesive, and we're going to attach a piece of sandpaper grit to it. Ha! I knew it. I knew I had one in here. Perfect. Dos segundos. 2 seconds. I got a gunky battery. That kind of scared me for a second because I thought I got gunk in the battery, which means the battery's going to explode. But it won't. All right. If you don't have sharpening stones, 'tis okay. We'll take us a piece of glass. We'll attach some sandpaper to it. And then this will give us a true flat surface upon which we can work our blade to give us a keen edge. Now for me, I usually prefer to use oil. Some people will use water. And this isn't going to booger up your sandpaper too much. But the idea is to give the iron filings that come off during our sharpening, the idea is to give them a suspension of fluid that they can float around in so that it doesn't gunk up into the grit of the paper itself. Now what I'm doing is I'm just pressing the flat edge. I suppose any fluid will really do it. Windex seems like it works good. Bad Dragon, cool. What I'm doing is I'm just planing flat the back edge of my marking knife, because that's going to make up one of the two vertices that come together to give me a sharp edge. See, in reality, the premise of sharpening things is kind of simple. It just gets overcomplicated by so many people that it's unreal. The grit of this sandpaper is 1200. And that's okay. You can work through grits if you want to, but for me, I start really high and I just execute with a lot of patience. I'd rather go with a really fine grit and do it 1,000 times so that I'm doing things very slow, very methodically. And that keeps me from being over aggressive and making a stupid ass mistake and gouging my steel or doing something otherwise detrimental. Slow and steady wins the race here, right? And honestly, for me, it's a bit different than what most people preach. I may start and finish at 1200 and be done. Now, some are more like Bad Dragon. They may be a little bit more on the impatient side, or they want to try to be efficient, hurry up, get it done. They'll start at 400, start at 120, depending on how much material you need to remove. See, the whole process, remember I was talking about that the sharp edge is two vertices meeting each other, right? Well, the problem is that at the edge, if it's dull, they're meeting rounded like so. So as I continue to remove from one side, I bring that flat, and then I bring this one flat as well. Then I start to create that point, and that point is the sharpness that I'm looking for. So depending on how much material you need to remove between the two vertices will determine, like, okay, do I need to get really aggressive and just start pounding the hell out of this with 120 or 400, or can I sneak up on it? And I usually defer to sneaking up on it, because I know that I, with my ADHD self, am impatient, and I will fuck around and overshoot what I'm doing and make a big ass mistake. Now what I'm looking for is, as you remove material from one edge, okay, let me get some paper so I can show you what's up. 2 seconds. I want all of this to make good sense for you, bud. Okay, clipboard. More board than clip. That's cool though. Paper. Paper. Okay. So what I was talking about with a dull blade is that basically when you look at it zoomed in, you have this thing going on with the two vertices. And as you continue to remove material like so from each edge, then you gradually create that fine point out here, this is the sharpness, because all of the pressure is applied to that one little point right there, and it can absolutely just slice right into something because there's nothing holding it back. So I did get a little bit ahead of myself, and people are bringing up some really good points that I skipped right over because I sharpened so many stinking times that I can almost feel it at this point. I know when I'm getting a good edge, when I'm not getting a good edge. Hi, Carrie. When I'm on my bevel, when I'm not on my bevel. So thank you for correcting me, Bad Dragon. I need to back up. All right. So what we're looking for, give me a second. Let me get something to mark on that so we can follow Bad Dragon's advice, which was sound. Color the blade so we can see where we're removing material and where we're not. There she is. All right. If you see real close, I'm going to use a magic marker and black all that in. And basically that's working as marking fluid. Yeah, I got flies in here. I'm sorry. Damn it. Get the hell out of here, fly. Good God, I'm getting invaded. All right. So now I've blacked out my blade on both of my cutting edges. And I'm going to show you what it looks like when you're off your bevel. So I know I'm on bevel there. I'm going to kick it a little less way. Give it a couple runs. Do you see how the discoloration only came off in one particular part? I missed the top edge over here because I was off my bevel by a hair. Now I'm going to try to get back on bevel. Correct the mistake that I just made. And now I know I've reestablished myself a good edge right there. Let's do the same thing to the other side. When you first start, you can lock your arms in place and pitch your entire body back and forth with your legs. That way you're like a mannequin from the waist up, and you lock in a particular angle and you just keep working that over and over. So you end up with a good flat surface there. Let's do it on the back so we can see how true the back of our marking knife is. As I literally just had a marker in my hand and I was swatting at flies or something, and Jesus. Got to be kidding me. There we go. Okay, so let's see how true the back of our knife is. And we're just going to use this marker as marking fluid. Got ourselves good and blacked out. I'm going to move this to the edge so that I can get flat against the glass without my handle getting in the way. Probably turn to a fresh grit here. Bring some oil over here. Let's see just how flat we are. I'm using even, consistent pressure, just pressing the back of the blade up against the 1200 and working back and forth along the edge. As you can see, I got a little bit of a low spot right over here in this corner. So I need to continue dressing it down till we get in there. Now, before we go any further, another thing I want to do is I want to get a clean edge. So let's use an X-Acto knife. I think I got one here. Yep. This you don't necessarily have to do, but it will be useful for me because I want the center of this sandpaper so I can use it as well. So I'm going to cut my sandpaper. Then I'm going to follow that line with my glass cutter. And then I'm not wasting my sandpapers because I can double back and use the inside of them again. Mr. Shimate, good to see you, friend. So now I got me two cool little sanding blocks. Something along the way that cracked, but that's okay. That's not a big deal. All right. Oh, yeah. Fresh grit. I love it. Fresh enough that I probably need some oil. If you guys want to learn more about glass cutting and stuff like that, let me know. I've got a video already up for it, but I have no problem in showing people how to do it. It seems to be something that people get real skittish about. Like they're really worried about cutting glass for some reason. Maybe it's the inherent idea that they're going to slice themselves up. You know, they get that final destination idea in their head. But it's not as intimidating as everybody thinks. The right tools and the right practice, you're good to go. See how this came out. Man, oh man, that is looking pretty nice. But we're not worried about appearances. We're worried about the edge. We want to make sure that we get good and sharp. And what we've done here is perfect. Okay. Let's move all this out of the way, get back to the paper so I can show you what you're after, Whittler. I am long-winded doing this stuff, so I'm sorry. Okay. So remember that we're looking for that angle to become as close to a single point as we can get it, right? Now, in the course of doing so, this may be the bottom of one of my vertices, and as I continue to remove material off the other vertex, then those pieces of metal are moving this way and they're being deformed so that you'll end up with something that looks akin to this, where you've been pushing the metal off and it's rolling over to one side. That's called your burr. And that's what you want. You'll actually feel it. As you're working on one edge, then you'll feel on the other edge that there's a bit, you'll be able to feel this little ridge. And I've got it great on both sides of this because I was working so much on the back. So now what I want to do is I'm going to very quickly make a single pass this way and pull back so that I nip that right off. Does that make sense what I said? So now that I've established my burr, back to the sandpaper here. I was working this edge. I need to get rid of my burr. My vortexes or vertices are going this way. So I'm going to make a quick pull that direction on this side with my blade angled this way just to remove the burr. And that's really all it took. Just a quick pull to get that little residual metal off of there. And now I'll do the same thing with my other blade that I made on the other side. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And once that is established, I mean, it will cut without issue. Now we can go even further with that if we want to. And that's by utilizing something a little bit more passive. Remember how I said that as you're removing the material and establishing that point between the two angles, you're going to create a burr. Now that pullback that I did removed probably 90-95% of the burr, but there's still 5% of it left. And if you looked at this under a microscope, you'd see that it's rather jagged on the end, where basically that burr, we took it off and it just broke off rather than cleanly was removed. It's kind of jagged. So now we have all these little microscopic mini burrs that are all across the blade, and we can get rid of those. And we do so with a strop. Now, a strop is simply a piece of leather. It could be a belt. It really doesn't matter. But you need something like this, a good piece of rough leather that will grab a hold of these little micro burrs that we have and pull them away, leaving us a completely flat edge, or as flat as we can possibly get it without getting microscopic about it. And here in a minute, you guys are about to see the mic is making stuff ghetto fabulousness come right out. Screw into the bench because this is a working bench, ain't a pretty bench. This is my bad bench. This ain't my pretty bench. Now, normally when you do this, remember how we introduced oil to the sandpaper? That was to give it a suspension and a little bit of abrasive so that it's able to do whatever it's going to do, right? I did dress the stones. What's up, Calvin? So, we need some type of a paste with a mild abrasive in it that will let us take care of that raggedy doodly doo that we had left over from the burr, right? And if you go look, they will sell you honing compound, sharpening compound. You already have some. That dragon already smelled it. Good old-fashioned toothpaste. Because guess what toothpaste is? It's a paste suspension with a mild abrasive used to clean your teeth. So yes, my ghetto fabulousness will most definitely take some toothpaste and toothpaste my straw. And why do I do that rather than buying some hone and buffing compound or whatever the hell? It does smell rather good. It does make your blade smell great. But the most important operative point, you can pick the damn thing up for $1 down at the tree. Anytime you need it. So, there's a reason that I leave this loose the way it is. Some people will put a backing board behind this. I choose not to, because sometimes I have blades that have weird contours, like this Sloyd knife that's beveled backwards and all kinds of weird stuff, right? I want my leather to be able to conform to the profile of the blade as I'm moving it. All I'm doing with this is using the leather to microscopically grab a hold of those burrs and pull them free from where we worked them last time. The other reason that we use leather for this is that sometimes there'll be one that's stuck out really big and it'll actually get impregnated into the leather and break away from our blade, which is good. When you first start with this, if you're sharpening right, please understand, you know you're doing better. You're sharpening well if you're cutting your frickin' strop while you're stropping. Remember, I'm always pulling away from the angle, okay? So if my angle on my blade is this way, I'm pulling this direction. Because if I go that way, what am I going to do? I'm going to dig right into this. I'm going to just slice my damn leather in half. I ain't doing no good that way. Now I'm going to clean off my compound. Which is fine because it's toothpaste. I can lick it. I'm kidding. No, I'm not kidding. I actually did lick it off. And as you can see, we are incredibly sharp. Yeah, that's no joke. Well, no, I don't want to cut my strop. Hold on. I'll find something that will let you adequately see that we got this sucker sharp. Two seconds. Wait a tick. All right. Here's our walnut. Just going to go in this channel right here. One finger. I mean, I'm just barely even pulling. And as you can see, I'm just slicing ribbons out of this thing. Did that help out at all, Whittler? I hope it did. If you need it, for example, with this guy right here, I've got a consistent edge with the same profile that's running all the way from here to here. You can build just the kind of stuff I needed. Hot damn. You can build yourself a knife sharpening guide, and I'll show you how. Give me just a minute. I should have been more prepared what the hell I was going to talk about. Well, then again, I didn't know what I was going to talk about, so we're winging it. Okay, we'll do it live. There we go. If you can get a hold of them, this will be incredibly handy. With a pair of bearings, actually, let me think of the smarter way to do this. Because the typical apparatus for sharpening a knife blade, the one that I seem to prefer, I'm going to draw it for you, Whittler, and then if you want to make it, it is an upside down pineapple shirt, maybe. Mind your business. And if you don't know what an upside down pineapple is all about, well then good for you. Don't be Googling shit. Let it go. Okay. The typical sharpening rig that I've seen for knives that work out really well is that they'll have a plate, okay? And that plate will sit like so. Some kind of an apparatus to affix their knife to. Usually either with a clamp or with a magnet. Then on this side is an adjustable post, okay? And then they have an eyelet or another type of device up here with very fine files, something like this, but much finer. And it will stab in like so. And the idea is that, well, let me try to fashion one for you here. I'll use it on the Sloyd knife. Hell with it. Because I can fix the blade later. It's not a big deal. I'd much rather you be able to understand how this works. So basically, there's a pivot point up here. Pivot, right? My sharpening, or the blade side that I need sharpened, faces me, right? I stick this in. That's what she said. And because this is at a fixed point, I'm establishing an angle that I can sharpen that one particular profile on this side. Then I can flip over to do the same thing. Having this point fixed and able to let me rotate and move around. Does that make sense? I hope that did. But that's basically how you do it, and that actually got that a little bit sharper. Holy hell. They have them available for purchase. Usually you can just make one. You know, I'm not a big fan of making somebody buy something, especially if you can make the damn thing right here at the house. All of that to say, that's how you sharpen a knife. So the paring knife is done. The little marking knife came out good. I tell you, I think that little sucker came out sweet. I do like it. It is a bit on the pretty side. Now, let's make us a bigger knife. What do you think? Mr. Maker, good to see you, friend. How's everything in the forging world going, man? You doing good? Thanks, Dad's Workshop. Appreciate you. Now, could I make anything as well as Dabaka Maker or any of the other guys over at Bar Run Forge? No, not a damn chance. But I make reasonable facsimiles that work pretty well. I mean, they're not pretty, but they do the thing. And when is my channel ever about making anything particularly pretty? All right. So let's make us another one. Hell with it. See what we got. All right. So we got this old piece of a saw blade, which is usually not really the toughest steel in the world, but it's usually grade 50, grade 92, somewhere around there. It's nothing, it's still mild steel. Kizzy, that's a very beautiful point. I love that you mentioned that. So the idea of properly using one of these suckers, and then I always skip ahead because I make the assumption that I'm going to be talking down to somebody if I'm covering stuff like that. But the idea and the whole premise behind this, getting this as sharp as it is so that I can barely even touch this. And if I need to, I can make multiple passes and still make my cut, still establish my knife wall, and still do everything I need to do without ever compromising the end of this. You really don't have to. Wood is always defeated by this in the hierarchy of materials. That's just at the end of the day, that's as simple as it is. So there's no reason to bear down into this sucker. I'm doing the most awful thing by stabbing him into the workbench. But at the end of the day, it really just takes repetition, multiple passes, and you blow right there. And it'll do the same for wood without issue. See, now I'm just making 4, 5, 6, 7 light passes. Now I want you to see just how deep I was able to cut. You see the tip of my blade? With those 6 or 7 light passes, I made it into the wood that far. So that's about the same as it would have been if I'd have just 400-pound gorillaed onto this thing. That make sense? Light passes and a gentle stroke are the key for your marking knife to last you forever. Although I keep making them because I keep giving them to people. I think the last one I gave to Bearded Viking, but neither here nor there. Heidi, take care. Thank you for stopping in. Oh, you're going to be back in a little bit. Yes, Tabaka. I choose this design. There are some that are just a single bevel that go in one direction. I don't like those because you're locked into using it in one direction. With this one, I can use it left or right hand of my marking. That's important because when you're getting into using a marking knife, the level of precision you can get with this is incredible. And I'm going to try to get super close. My point is on this side of the blade, not on this side. So if I were to mark against my straight edge like this, I'm about a 16th off. See what I mean? But if I do this, I go right up against it, and my mark is dead nuts. So I want to be able to put that flat up against my straight edge every time I'm making a mark. Can I use that center hole as a finger hole groove in the knife design? I bet I could, except I don't know how well it translates. I'm not the littlest guy. I think if I tried to get my index in there, I'd probably be going to the ER trying to figure out how to get the damn thing back out. See you later, buddy. Good idea, though. I mean, for somebody with a smaller hand, I bet that would work just great. For me, I could probably get my pinky in there, maybe. No, I could get to the first knuckle of my pinky, and that's about it. But if I did want to do that, ADD's hitting me. How do I figure out how to do this? Mr. Logan, good to see you. If I did want to do that, then the tool that I need is this guy and a drill press. This is called a step bit. And as you can see, it's got a variety of different diameters. I encourage doing so with a drill press because when this sucker bites, it is aggressive. And I'm sure you don't want to think of what's going to happen if this thing gets bound up inside a drill and starts taking off in circles. Well, then you got a little bit of a problem. So you could wallow that out a little bigger. I just don't know if I want a finger hole in my knife. First, I got to decide what kind of knife I'm going to make to begin with. It can't be particularly that big because this is relatively small. I mean, this is like 1/8 inch, somewhere in that vicinity. Let me see. Did it slide over here in the catch-all? Yes, it did. Let's just take a caliper reading on this sucker. 0.825, 0.0825. So yeah, 1/8 of an inch. For those of you on the other side of the pond, .2 millimeters. So about 1/8 of an inch. So we can't do anything particularly huge with it. whatever blade we end up making with it's going to be pretty flexible because it's thin. And we got to consider that when we start figuring out, okay, what is our knife going to do when we're done with it? Do we need it to chop? Do we need it to cut vegetables? Or is it going to be a scalpel? What are we doing? All right, so in this case, let's just make something pretty. Hell with it. I got enough room for a full tang again, which is cool. I wonder if I can make one of those karambits. Let's see if I remember how they go. Well, then I would definitely need my finger hole if I'm going to make a karambit. Welcome back, Heidi. Okay. And that sucker's going to be awful small. We'll have to come all the way out here to the end. Yeah, it won't be so bad. Matthew, good to see you, buddy. I think I'm going to give myself a thumb indent right there. That is the funkiest looking knife I ever seen. How about y'all? I think that looks like ass. But screw it. I guess we'll find out. At the end of the day, this is an old tore up blade. We'll see what it comes out with. Find out. I'm going to move to the drill press with my step bit. And I think I'm going to go for a 1-inch hole right there. Give me just a second. I'm going to blow that hole real quick. Over at the drill press. I wasn't prepared to move y'all around a lot. Y'all are plugged into the power, so I can't bring you over here. My drill press is kind of cool. It's a brand name Walker Turner. This particular one was built in 1927, so it is coming up on 100 years young. It sounds like it's on its last leg. It does sound like ash. Well, in my opinion, it does. But it performs perfectly. Listen to that crackety son of a gun. Grandpa's over here like, why the hell did you wake me up? Incredibly slow going. I don't want this saw blade to take off on me. Uh-huh. I ain't chancing that no further. That sucker's trying to get skeevy. Calm down, Grandpa. We're good. Cool your freaking jets, Turbo. All right. So there be that. Now we get to set up the next sketchy skeevy crap time to do some sketchy do-da, do-da. And for that, we need a parallel clamp. And we need my portable bandsaw. All right, that's it. Screw it. Live's over. Can't find my clamp. I'm kidding. Calm down. The problem with having attention deficit is that you tell yourself, I'm going to put something in a place where it's supposed to be, and then I know where to look for it when I need to go find it the next time. And then you forget where the hell that place was, and now you're in a world of shit. Isn't that great? Hi, Artsy Doodles. How are you? I see, says the blind man to the deaf boy, who heard nothing. Okay, says Buckwheat. We have our parallel clamp. We have our Harbor Freight brand Bauer portable bandsaw. It really does. Isn't it cool like that? So now what I've done is I've given my portable bandsaw a bigger footprint so it'll stand upright on its own. And that'll let me cut out our knife. Watch your ears, guys. I have no idea how the hell that's going to work at this point. But it looks pretty vicious. Hell, I don't know. I don't know anything about knife making, but we're learning as we go. I think that handle should be smaller. It is the claw. The claw. I think I might cut that sucker about like so. That feels like it makes more sense. It is a little bit of a pig sticker, I'm sure. Arkansas toothpick. Let's cut some more on here. Okay. Feels a little bit more like it makes sense. Meanwhile, there's somebody locked up in the pen going, "Hey, yo, Bunky, come and watch this dude." I do have some lawnmower blades around here that I made another one out of. I actually made this blade out of. It's a slow wood cutting blade. It actually works really, really good. Back to your side. Get back on your side. Bye, Heidi. Thank you for coming. Then I can plug you guys back into the charger. The finger hook is weird for me, though. I don't know. Screw it. I guess that's what we're doing. I mean, that sucker looks like a bit of a pig sticker. Ooh, I could put a little diddly-do back here for poking on the other side. I could make this a utility blade. See, I can't spin it because it's... Oh, yeah, I can. Ooh, and because it's heavier on that side, it automatically falls. It automatically puts the blade up. It's kind of handy. Figure out something to do with it. All right. I feel like I'm going to get in trouble showing somebody how to make articles that damage people, that kind of thing. Before I was making tools. I mean, this, come on, that's a tool. But all this other jazz on that, look, this, how the hell am I going to tell somebody that's a tool? I don't even like this design either. It's a little weird. I thought it was going to be cooler than that. I mean, it will open the paint can, for sure. Oh, that feels like you're going to break your damn pinky the first time you try to use it like that. Yeah, this wasn't a good design. I think I'm going to chuck this because there's only one way to use it. That, I mean, if it gives you an idea, look at this. I already bent it. You're going in the trash. They don't all work, but that's okay. Wood mower blades. I bet them suckers are thick. Thick! It is a little bit like that, Kevin. Except not as useful. Are YouTube making knives? Well, I was making a knife. I'm sure YouTube is full of people making knives. Here's me making a couple of knives, or ones that I already made. Yes, I can make knives. I can make all kinds of things. And why did I trash the last one? Because it was ugly. It didn't feel good in the hand, and it was a bad design. Useless. Pointless. Well, it technically had a point, but it ain't very good. But we still got some wood carving we could do. I got this, or I can go back to the log. Yes, I make handles as well, Simmons. I made the handles on both of these. Well, this one I just whipped out rough because that's for the shop. Somebody wanted me to make a very pretty marking knife, so I made this one out of the same wood as this. Yes, I make the handles as well. You know what I could use? Nah, I don't need a file handle. Could carve a spoon. You know, the minute I say that, lines is going to show up. All right. Yeah, that might be the plan. I'm going to sit here and carve on this. Probably carve a spoon because he keeps wanting me. Chisels makes a hell of a knife. It can. Yes, sir. Albeit they are quite brittle. They are pretty thick. I'm going to make myself a chair. All right. Let's get the whittling here. A little wood carving wouldn't be bad. Or I could make one of those guys with the face that's sticking out of the wood. You guys know what I'm talking about? All the other wood carvers are doing it. With the, like the old man with the mustache and shit. I don't know nothing about what they call it, but Looks like Gandalf sticking his head out of a tree. Wood spirit. I'll try to make one of those. I ain't tried that yet. Get out of the way. I love the profile that I put on this blade. It works really well. Like, everybody would have thought that this curved side would be the side that I put the cutting edge on, but I actually put it on the other side. And it works really cool. Like, it's a lot more handy than I thought it was going to be. Can you guys see okay? Well, you're just looking at me, ain't you? I don't know how much y'all want to stare at me, but let's go. I expect a complete audit explaining to me the ridiculous faces I make while I'm running a carving knife so that I can amend that. Has anyone tried to make a knife from an engineering stake? I think I would have to understand more about what you're calling an engineering stake to be able to say. I'm sorry, woodlot. And I guess because technically I have a bigger hand, that big handle on this really feels like it's good. Yeah, I was going to say the only steel stake I knew was rebar. Well, T-post. Bet you can make some good stuff out of T-post. Yeah, I can't think of anything in particular off the top of my head, but T-post seems to have to be some pretty stout steel. Probably grade 50. At the very least, 836. Mild structural steel, maybe. 4-foot long steel T-post. Well, hot damn, I was right on track with you, man. What I can do is I'll sit here and I'll carve this spoon out. Depending on the time left, maybe we'll redo this handle using our fancy new knife. What y'all think? Does that sound fun? Sit around, shoot the poop a little bit. I'm going to sit down and record my new video tomorrow. Let me ask you, has it been showing you guys ads or no? Is this thing still on? I haven't seen one, but I've been going in and out. I don't know if it's something I got to turn on or how the hell it works. I mean, I just got the email today talking about how I can take advantage of AdSense revenue. Apparently, I got 4,000 hours now. And they walked me through the whole shebang of where I got to, like, tell it which videos to monetize and which ones not to. Mid-roll, hell, I don't know anything about it. I just kept hitting next until it said, you're all set. What's everybody else up to today? You guys been good? Oh, down to like 15 people. I guess I'm not one of the cool club anymore. I got 7 projects finished and out of my garage. Hot damn, Kevin, good job. Come on, retirement. Damn right, Norm. Jeez, let's go. Hell, fire and brimstone. Let's get it over with. Aw, Nikki. Shit, I don't know about that. But it's kind of you to say. If you guys get the opportunity to, I think I got the website fixed now. So you should be able to register. And once you're registered there, if you guys want to do things like write a how-to article, you want to be a contributing editor, you want to make blog posts, you'll have the ability to do that. I'll keep on fighting with it. I think the next thing I want to do is put a place where we can kind of put maybe upload plans. I don't know if I want to sell them. That sounds kind of... It kind of sounds counterintuitive to what I do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a, oh, let me find a way to make money. How's that sound, you guys? Would you put your projects up there if I put a place for them? Maybe a place somebody could download it, build what you build. You guys could swap, share, trade. Cool, Carrie. At least we got one vote, yes. Listen, I think about the only things that I would try to do as far as trying to get some money out of y'all. I mean, if I'm just speaking plainly as I can be, is like Zlako. He's the developer over at Markov Innovations, the one that's been doing some of the back hardline stuff, building the infrastructure for the site. I mean, that website isn't just one of those you go to Wix or Squarespace or one of them damn things and follow the little wizard. No, that sucker does all kinds of stuff. And it's all done by a local guy. It's all hard-coded the old-fashioned way. And like, for example, if any of you guys wanted a website, it'd probably be cool. You know, I could send him some business. And he could help you guys have a website too. God forbid. Support some local makers. This knife is working so well. Glad you decided to hang out with me, guys. On this warmer day, it's a hell of a lot warmer than it was yesterday. I loved yesterday's weather here. God, it was so nice. Oh, you know what else I forgot? Small wood light, you still there? If you are, the time you might have been waiting for may be here. As I found another local fella who may be able to make booger mallet t-shirts. Of course, I imagine I'm probably the only one that's going to buy one in the beginning. My father worked for RCA. He was subcontracted out to Lincoln Labs and NORAD for 53 years, retired at 67, 2 government pensions and a private one. Damn, that boy is good. For working this tight curve in here, all I'm doing is I'm using my thumb as a pivot, and it's driving most of it, and then all I'm doing is rotating my wrist. And that's the knife's doing the rest of the work after that. Right? I want to try to maybe hit down there with a hatchet or something. Be a little bit more expedited. Yeah, hell with it. Let's just power through. Matthew, welcome back. Oh, the cathedrals on that wood are starting to get real pretty. I don't know if y'all can see that. Oh yeah, it's taking off chunks. chalks. I think I ran most everybody off. Except for all of you OGs. Y'all are hardcore, man. And I love you for it. I was looking at something on Temu. Oh, you mean the Chinese spy app? Here comes somebody about to tell me to quit vaping, right? Usually some European. You know, for to do this vape is no good for you. If you want to, guys, we could keep up the conversation from last night. I have to go wash the poison ivy off in a few minutes. I bought a lot of tools there, and most of it was super good. Yeah. Like, for the end user, yes, you'll get incredible deals on places like Temu and Shine, Alibaba, AliExpress. But I don't know enough to remember Daddy telling me that if it's too good to be true, it probably is. And the owner of the website is definitely getting something out of you. And if it ain't your billfold, you got to ask, what the hell is it they're getting? The most obvious and innocent answer would be your data. I shudder to think that what the proprietors of Temu are really up to is that all they're waiting for, they will give you the world. All they want is that sweet routing and account number information. And that kind of makes me nervous. Can you guys hear me still? Let's try our new small knife. Oh, that's going to be good for that detail work. That's going to be really nice. Just making sure, Nora. Thank you for confirming. Thank you, Archie. If you want, I didn't get a lot of answers last night. I felt kind of bad because shooting the poop kind of went sideways. If you were there, somebody was a little upset. Oh, thank you, Nikki. Oh, that's awesome. If any of you guys want a website, let me know. I know a guy. And he could definitely use the support. I think it all depends on what they're going to make, Nikki. I mean, if you want to make, I don't know, something big and crazy. But if you're going to do something simple like mine, it might not be too bad. Especially since with mine having all of the PHP already built and it being a dynamic FTP site, which, when's the last time you heard anybody have a dynamic FTP site? Used to be only the biggest corporations in the world had those. But, since the architecture's already figured out, I could imagine just make another copy of the framework and build it for one of you guys, one of you creators. Shouldn't be too bad. Mind your back sitting like that. Okay. I'm kind of torquing around every once in a while, so. We're starting to get a little more spoony. It ain't bothering me, Nikki. I know you're looking out for me, girl. And I appreciate it. How's the new hubby? Everything been good? How's married life on the island been treating you? Nikki, my back checked out years ago. First break, 8 years old. Last 17 years ago. Damn. All good. Yeah, like teenagers again. Oh my, Nikki. Get a room. Jeez. That's what she said. Okay. It's the last time I'm getting a that's what she said joke, I swear. The good thing about carving with this is that this piece is surprisingly all straight grain. There's not any knots in it. There's nothing in it. So although it may come out a very boring looking knife, it will most definitely be a knife or knife, a spoon. This one's called a spoon. This one's called a knife. And that's just the tip of the injury list. Man, I hear you. I was on something called a dead man's profile in the Army for 6 months because Busted a few vertebrae in my back. Vertebrae in my back, as opposed to vertebrae in my knee. God, I can't talk today. It's because I'm too busy paying attention to this so I don't whack my damn finger off. I cut my pinky finger one time. Yeah, I'm trying like hell to avoid cutting any of them. But I guess if I was going to choose one, I could stand to lose a pinky. I'm okay with that. Or the damn ring finger. Let me take back the pinky. You use the pinky a lot, but I could probably get away without having the ring finger. You don't do a whole hell of a lot with the ring finger. Except maybe it's part of the shocker or something. Yeah, you don't ever do shit with your ring finger. What do you need that for? I mean, other than count to 10. But joke's on you because I don't ever count. So, ha! Unless you specifically train it as in piano. Yeah? Oh my. Nicky. I had stitches in my index finger when I worked cutting spinach in a farm in Denmark. Oof. That is not easy work. I harvested spinach when I was in high school. Kind of sucks. Did that as an overnight gig. Starting at like 10 o'clock, be done at like 6 in the morning, and go to school. Pretty good money, but it sucked. I love how easily this is going through this walnut. For those of you that are young at heart but slightly older in other places, like me, you'll appreciate having a good edge on your blade because it just makes all of this so much easier to contend with. I'm not getting as many cramps or the arthritis isn't really kicking in so hard, which is kind of nice. Sounds like it's almost getting into musical instrument territory. A nice ring to it. I am, in fact, making a spoon. I was wondering if it was going to make if it was going to summon lions, but I guess my spoon isn't worthy. I have a question. How many of you read your own obituary more than once in the newspaper? Read yours 4 different times. Huh. I didn't read my obituary, but I did see myself on a KIA list. That was kind of funny. Totally blew it off too. I'm like, nope, I'm right there. Go to chow. A couple of guys came and gave me shit after the fact. What the hell are you doing? You're supposed to be dead. Well, I can't get paid if I'm dead. The damn Army owes me 3 more years of LESs. I ain't going nowhere. It's getting there. It is getting very spoony. Spoon man, come together with your hand. Never. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's pretty accurate. Especially depending on how far they took it down the pipe. And they've already out-processed you, and they're looking for your TA50 and see if there's any left. Canceling medical benefits and doing all kinds of crap. Oh, that's pretty good. Yes. Huh? He's getting there. So much of that's hilarious. I mean, and it's surprising how many guys, yeah, it's surprising how many guys accidentally end up on a KIA or something like that. For me, I mean, as I remember, it really wasn't all that uncommon. If they just lose track of where the hell you're at, then some lazy asshole just puts you on the KIA. Okay. I can't find him reporting to anybody in any of these forums, so he obviously must have died. Thankfully, in the time I was on the KIA, I found out, at least for the unit that I was with, the process. Thankfully, they wait till the very end before they start notifying family and all that other crap. So you got plenty of chances to stop it before it nip it in the bud before it gets to mama screaming and hollering that you're dead. Right? Tell you the truth, I don't go to VA much. I mean, probably should. But I guess between the preconceived notion of what I thought in my mind the VA is going to be like, all the bureaucracy and the red tape and hurry up and wait, hell, I just figured that whatever was wrong with me was either going to get better on its own or it was going to kill me by the time they looked at it. So that was the point. 35 likes on the video. Heck yeah, we got 11 people. Thanks for spending your Saturday with me. Thankfully, most of this end is going to come off, so it's really easy to make those gouging cuts and get a good chunk loose. You can just break all of that off. We're getting a little more spoony. Jesus. Hello, hand dance. Why do I feel like I just got set up? Waiting for the other shoe to drop. And this is the right part, Smallwood, right about this time that this is where they're going to make a comment about how they made a poopy or tell me to grab the camera for a Lamar Jackson edit. We must go in being an officer. Showed up at my sister's farm, wonder why I hadn't attended drilling last 6 months. Okay, Nikki. Thank you for stopping in, dear. Appreciate you seeing me. Thank you for coming by the shop. I hope you get some good rest. I'll see you tomorrow. You as well, my dear. You as well. Go have a nice ice cream snack for me. That sounds like a plan. Night. For those of you that don't know, Nikki's such a sweet girl. She lives in the Canary Island and is a bit of a globe trotter. She has been all over the place. When you hear her talk, she sounds like she's from London. She may be. I never bothered to ask where she was born, but she certainly sounds like she's from London. Yeah. I'll get that at some particular point. I got it during my IRR. Like, I guess they were just checking maybe to see if I was still alive or some shit. I'm trying to pretend like I was supposed to be reporting a drill, but I had been on inactive ready reserve for shit almost a year and a half at that point. Maybe almost 2 years. Then I get a notice to report to a local guard armory, only to find out it was some kind of mistake. Thanks for stopping in. Have a great day. It had certainly been a while since I was called sergeant. So that was a little odd. Other than that, the guys were really cool. My active enlistment ended in 95, and then I got off IRR in 99. $14 beautiful people sitting around watching the carve a spoon. Appreciate you being here. Hope you're having a wonderful Saturday. If you end up hitting the like button and you didn't mean to, well, then go kick the crap out of the subscribe button. It was him that did it. Let me tell you, the way he's been acting lately, that sucker's had it coming. You have my full permission to go find that subscribe button and just beat the hell out of it. And then go ring all of its bells by clicking the bell, putting it on all. That'll show him. Jesus. See, that's always the damnest thing. I mean, it's as simple as, why don't you just look at my damn DD214 and you'll probably figure it out. Look me up on the dot mill. And you'll see I don't have a duty station. I don't have anybody I report to. I'm actually listed as IRR. Go find out what that means. So that's another reason why I don't screw with VA or any of that, because I've had so many times where they just screw something up with paperwork. God. Like private clipboard. There's a hell of a story, small woodlot. You ready for this? Grab yourself a beer. You're going to love this one. Private clipboard was this Dominican guy from New York. Lived in New York City. And for his overseas hardship deployment, he got to spend a year Kunsan in Korea. But then he gets there, and nobody's got him on an active duty roster. Nobody's got who he reports to. Nobody's assigned him a unit. And everybody shuffles him off to somebody else because they don't want the problem. Hell, go talk to somebody else. I cannot 100% confirm, but I can tell you the last I knew, he had spent the entirety of his year in Korea walking around post with a clipboard. Looking like he was doing something important. And he sat over there collecting the damn LES. Hello to you 9 beautiful souls still sticking around watching me carve a spoon. Hope you guys are having a chill Saturday. Hope you're having a wonderful time. Maybe I should go ASMR. Just start whispering and shit. Let's set this image right next to the knife. When I went to basic, we had drill private. That was hilarious. Oh, sorry, I was supposed to be whispering. Zoom in on the workpiece. Okay, hold on. Figure out how to make that work. Shit. Oh, damn it. Am I doing this right? I just know they just do shit and they whisper. Nice. Hey Matthew, what's up, man? That's walnut, actually. Hey, Kevin. I'm whittling a spoon, buddy. That is not what it looks like from that end at all. Is this working okay? I do have a fan running. Maybe that's it. Tap the mic button on the screen. Right now. Yeah. No. Sorry, Dad. Workshop there, and then you have the button. Also, this knife is super sharp, so there's not a lot of noise coming from it. Cuts. gun was working for a minute. Maybe it wasn't. I'll tell you. Huh. Interesting. Somebody was talking to me last night about doing a guitar build too. What's up, dude? I'm making a spoon, man. Spoon, man. Dealer, have you heard anything about bins, man? Good. Hell yeah, let's go. That's what I'm talking about. There ain't but 7 people watching. I don't know if it's being quiet and just working is cutting. One little more right there. Awful being spoken. Yeah, showing up. Please drop a like on the video. That helps other people find it. If you would be so kind. Thank you in advance for doing so. How long have I been doing this? 3 hours. If you haven't already, it'd be really cool if you hit the like button, show some support for the channel. I like that a lot. It'd be really cool. Thanks. Yeah, I think I'm shut it down. Thanks for tuning in, guys.